All right, let's talk about what we saw last night. We were all up late watching Super Bowl 56, of course, Bengals and Rams. And Mike T, you and I were on radio yesterday. I know you said Joe Mixon you thought would be the X factor in this one, and he was a factor, but it felt like not when it mattered most to the Bengals. Do you think that was a mistake?
Absolutely, guys. And they were sacked 19 times in the postseason, and you have Joe Mixon threw a touchdown. No one saw that coming, but the best way to slow down pass rush, guys, is a good run game. And they had plenty of times, and to their credit, Zach Taylor had 3 timeouts. So I would have loved to see Joe Mixon get the ball more, especially in key situations. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, put Joe Burrow in the center, look where 99 is, and then run to the other side. And those are sort of basic check with me plays, but I did think that was a mistake.
So, Mike, I love making you put your GM hat back on. We all talk about the awful offensive line of the Bengals, but it's not like Cincinnati hasn't tried to address that in the draft. They just don't seem to be good at analyzing the position. How do you fix a position as an organization that you may not be good at scouting?
Jason, you have to scour. I mean, if they had an average offensive line, we would be talking about the world champion Cincinnati Bengals. They were sacked 19 times in the postseason. That's just unacceptable, especially when you have a prize gem like Joe Burrow. So to me, they made a great decision about Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell, who was the best tackle in last year's draft. And Jason, I draft him. I sign him in free agency. I bring in an assistant offensive line coach to develop the future. But I would pour as many resources against that, because if Joe Burrow isn't healthy, this team has no hope. With him, they have a chance for the championship every year.
Yeah, wow, every year is saying something. All right, let's go to the champions now, the Rams. Before we get to the good stuff, let's start with the bad stuff. We talked about X factors in terms of the Bengals. What about OBJ going out with that injury so early in this game when he had gotten some things going, obviously scored a touchdown and seemed to have some offensive firepower?
Yeah, this statistic really paints a picture. Stafford was 10 of 12 for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns with OBJ, and once he got hurt, he was 16 of 28 for 143 yards and 2 picks. So to me, he was the difference, guys. And as great as Cooper Kupp is, and Cooper Kupp is great, OBJ really has game-changing speed, and that showed up to me up until the time he got hurt.
You mentioned game changers. That's always going to be Aaron Donald, and reports yesterday were circulating before the Super Bowl that he'd be considering retiring as an organization. How do you address that with your best player when you know how much he means to winning future Super Bowls?
Yeah.
Jason, you got to go to the why. Why would you consider that? Do you need more time off? Do you want to not be in the off-season program? Do you want to miss training camp? How can we create the right environment and the right sort of infrastructure for you to be here happy and fulfilled? Because, Aaron, just your presence alone makes everybody better, because you're going to get double and triple team on every play. So I would try to go under the hood and really understand not necessarily just the decision, but why he's making it.
Interesting stuff. Last thing before we let you go, Mike T, overall reaction to last night's Super Bowl.
I thought it was a game where, again, if Cincinnati had just played okay on the offensive line, they probably win. And I thought the difference of the game was ultimately this. 4th and 1, Rams, behind the line of scrimmage, give the ball to Cooper Kupp. 4th and 1, Bengals, they drop back to pass. Aaron Donald finishes the game. And I just think to myself, if they ran the same play with Jamar Chase, would we be talking about an epic overtime game? Something we'll never know.
I mean, if they hit that 4th and 1, Evan McPherson's going to hit a field goal. We go to overtime, and then who knows what happens, right? But this is all if
that will haunt Cincy fans for a generation.
We know how this goes. All right, Mike Tannenbaum, as always, thanks for the time, buddy. Talk to you soon. And happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, you too. And hopefully Jordan takes care of your generosity from yesterday. So happy Valentine's Day to you guys, too.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.